Oh, this is James Jopling again with Shoppa's John Deere, and we're going to review a few basic hydraulic components for our 2021 AgTech tractor competition components. First of all, we have a gear pump, very simplistic gear pump, just basic gear pump. All right, this particular gear pump actually came off of an engine, and it's used to pump fuel, but most of the time you're going to see them pumping a hydraulic fluid or something such. But anyway, the first question is true. If a leak in the system occurs, the flow from the gear pump will remain constant at a constant drive RPM. That's true. If you have a leak externally, it's going to remain a constant. Now, the next question, if a gear pump is considered as an open center pump, that's true. You've got two types of pumps, generally is open center and closed center. The third question, the volumetric flow will vary according to drive RPM. That's true. The faster you're going to be spinning this, the more it's going to pump. Okay, next question is true. Within a gear pump fluid system, a relief valve is necessary to maintain a constant pressure. Generally, that is true. In some instances, it's not totally accurate, but in many instances, it is true. Okay, the next question. This can be considered an open center and a closed center hydraulic pump. That's false. This is just basic open center pump. So that is all which we have for the gear pump. Now, the next item is a hydraulic piston or a hydraulic cylinder. Okay, this cylinder, it has two ports, so it can be double acting or it can be utilized as a single acting cylinder. Double acting meaning you can pressure this end and it's going to move the piston in this direction, extending the cylinder rod, and then apply pressure here and return oil here, pushing the piston in this direction, retracting that cylinder rod. Or you can actually just have pressure here if you have a force on this end, gravitation. If you're using it just to force this out to lift something, and then you discontinue the oil here and just have a breather here to where it just has air, and having whatever weight there is pushing it back in. But anyway, now the first question is true. Cylinder rod diameter is within specification of 983 thousandths plus or minus 3 thousandths. So what I'd already marked this, so we have gone down to approximately 983 thousandths, and it is snug, so it is within specifications. And you are going to be required to actually use a micrometer, not a digital. This is just a standard mic to measure that, to answer that correctly. Now the next question is true. Cylinder can be used as double action or single action in single action applications. Yes, we already briefly mentioned that. Double acting, pressure return, therefore having pressure manipulate that back and forth. Now the next question is false. If hydraulic pressure applied is the same to the extend end of the cylinder piston and then applied to the retract end of the cylinder by reversing flow, the end result force will be equal bidirectionally. That is incorrect. That's absolutely incorrect. If you think about it, it's surface area. How much surface area will you have, say 3,000 psi being applied on this end of it versus this end of it? Your cylinder rod actually takes some of that area up, so you're going to have much less surface area of which to apply your pressure to. So it's going to have more applied force from this direction than this direction. Now, the next question is false. If the commanded flow rate to the cylinder is increased, the lift capacity will be increased. That's incorrect. Flow has relatively nothing to do with the lift capacity itself. It's actually pressure and surface area application. Now, the next question is false. If the cylinder rod is bent, it can be used for curve force application. No, if that's bent, it's not going to go in and out of the cylinder very well. But yeah, if it's bent, and we've had some in the past that were bent, yeah, you could potentially use it for that, but it won't work. But anyway, that's all that we have on the hydraulic cylinder. Our next component is just a transmission drive separator plates. Many transmissions use this type of separator plate. Even in your automobiles, your automatic transmissions, tractors, combines, just you name it, in so many different applications. Generally, you have a fiber disc, and this steel separator plate is what separates the fiber disc in there. And they're hydraulically actuated, and sometimes they can be air actuated disc with the piston, and it just compresses the friction disc against separator plates and creating a drive mechanism. But anyway, first of all, we're just going to go over the questions. Okay, the separator plate is out of specification and must be replaced. First of all, our specification, the thickness is 76 thousandths plus or minus 3 thousandths. And if we mark that, we are right at 75. We're right at 75, so we're good there. And then we're actually getting a little ahead on this, but yeah, we're going to check the warpage. And if you look at the specifications, it's within 4 thousandths of warpage. So, and I have a 3 thousandths feeler gauge, so this is fine. It's within specification as far as warpage is concerned. So that's false. Now, next question, after gauging plate warpage, it's within specifications. That's true. That's one thing of which we had just done. Now, the next question, if separator disc displays, this separator disc displays excessive slippage. Not really. Slippage usually creates burn spots, and this is exhibiting no significant burn spots. So potentially it could be used again. It's got a little bit of scraping. It's probably due to a little bit of debris within the transmission. Okay, next question is false. Visually, if one notes only small scratches on the facings, the separator plate can be reused without measuring thickness or warpage. No. Now, if you have, like this, it's got a few signs, a few scratches, so to speak, but you still have got to use your feeler gauge to measure for warpage and your thickness utilizing a micrometer. The last question on this, this type of separator disc is only used with dry clutch applications. Now, as we discussed earlier, that's false. The majority are used in wet clutch applications, which automobile transmissions, tractor transmissions, combines, just multiple uses all over the world. And that is all that we have on transmission drive separator plates.